Hello traders, and welcome back to another market update where we will take a look at the market and see what's going on in terms of technical analysis. Let's jump right into it with Euro USD, Euro dollar here showing some signs of strength off of this low level here. We actually saw price rise pretty nicely. And the big question here is this going to be the bottom? Are we going to see a higher low here, or are we going to come back and retest the lows? Now, if you've been watching the market updates, we have been pretty insistent on that. I think that price could head back down to the lows here in the next week or two. With that said, we do have some resistance points if price does want to try and make a move higher. We've got this area to keep an eye on. We've also got this point here. We've got a couple different levels of potential resistance as price rises. So if we can see price come up to some of these levels, I think that there's some potential opportunities for sell side action. As you can actually see, if we drop it to the 4-hour chart, we did start to see some resistance right around this point, but it looks like price is erasing some of that down movement and possibly headed up to retest some higher levels here. So keeping an eye on that, I think that there's a couple resistance points to think about. One other component here is that we do have this downward trend line to watch out for, which may act as a strong resistance point and maybe even kind of lead to our down push to that recent structure low. So keeping an eye on that. Next up, we've got GBP USD here. GBP USD looking like it still wants to make that final push to retest the 200 period moving average. We have to get above this level of resistance to get to that point if we're going to do it in the near future here. So watching to see that sort of break might be a nice breakout trade headed up to that 200 period simple moving average. Dollar yen here, still back and forth, not seeing too much decisive movements here, but we do have this level here. Got price making a move to the high side and pulling back to the 38.2, still holding that level, and I think possibly wanting to make a push back to the top here, and maybe even that recent top if we look here right around that 112, let's say 112.18 area. So watching for that move. Gold is next here. Gold looking like it still wants to retest the highs here. So I will be watching to see if we can get one more final push up to this point. One thing I will say about gold is that if price makes a pullback to this point here, I like the idea of finding buyers in this area. So if price can pull back here a little bit more, this level, which was a level of resistance, could actually be a pretty strong area of support where buyers could want to push price up, maybe even back to that recent high right around the $1,700 mark. So watching to see that. Brent crude is actually still finding some bounce. We're still holding some of the gains, but the big thing here is this going to come crashing back right down, or can we find a higher low? So I'm watching to see if we can get some sort of higher low, which may show that buyers are still in control and willing to push price higher. Euro GBP, not too much to say here, still consolidating. We are just kind of testing this level here and seeing if we can continue the bounce. Finally, AUD USD looks like it wants to come back to finally retest that trend line, at which point I think that there's some decent sell side opportunities, looking for that long-term downtrend to continue towards recent, possibly even back to recent lows here in the next month or two. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you got something out of it, and we will see you back next time.